This is ACC College Hoops in the 6th home game of the season for the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets here at McCamish Pavilion. Tonight, the Jackets with their 4-4 record welcome the Ball State Cardinals from the Mid-American Conference. It is the first ever meeting between the programs here tonight on ACC College Hoops. And it is so great to have you with us for our game this evening. Tom Wormy, along with Georgia Tech legend Brian Oliver. For the Yellow Jackets, they have struggled recently because their star point guard, Jose Alvarado, has not been available with an ankle injury. A lot of that scoring responsibility has fallen on the sophomore Michael DeVoe, over 19 points per game, and that's third best in the ACC.
Yeah, Tom, Mike DeVoe, he started out the season. He was a trailblazer, was averaging 23 points a game, has been their sole source of offense. This is a guy that's a crafty lefty, can shoot from outside, can get to the basket. He's got a tremendous skill set. As of late, has struggled a little bit, but he is the guy that Josh Pass is going to look to provide offense early. You see the numbers, 23.8 at the beginning, 55 field goals. Last two games, a pedestrian 6 points per game.
And that is our startup, brought to you by the Honda dealers of the Carolinas. Now, into that starting lineup is a new face, Jordan Usher. The junior is a transfer from Southern Cal.
And Jordan Usher is a player that the Tech coaches have been waiting for. This is a guy 6'7", very athletic. They label him as an alpha, a guy that can defend, that can score. They have been waiting for him to get going. This is an opportunity for him to come out at home in front of these Tech faithful and be able to play well. Hopefully can come out and give them a shot in the arm offensively.
Ishmael El-Amin is the star player for Ball State. He is their leading scorer, 15 points per game, best on the team, 8 straight games with double digits for this player.
Well, what's astounding, too, is you see the 15 points a game. This is a guy with a tremendous skill set, can go inside, outside, shooting 50% from behind the arc. This is a team that shoots a lot of threes. Be on the outlook for him because he's going to put it up whenever he gets across half court.
The Cardinals have a record of 5-4, and they come to McCamish Pavilion trying to take out a team from the ACC. It's the Cardinals and the Jackets, their first ever meeting. Coming up next from Atlanta, Georgia.
Feel your devices come alive. Speeds from 100 meg up to 1 gig. Stunning streaming video. Unbeatable power. Wi-Fi on blast. 99.9% network reliability. 100% incredible. Switch to Extreme Internet 100 today for $34.99 a month for 1 year. Call 844-EXTREME2.
Said I am a legend that you never heard of before. Said I am a lion, but you never heard me roar. I am a hero that nobody celebrates. But if one person remembers my name, that means I've made a change.
Individually, we are 30 million Vanguard investors. Together, we're changing the way the world invests.
ACC College Hoops is brought to you by Blue Cross and Blue Shield of North Carolina. Be bold, be confident, live fearless. And your local Ford dealer.
Back here at McCamish Pavilion and Cremens Court. We got the starting lineups between the Ball State Cardinals, the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets. And for Ball State, keep an eye on number 14, Kyle Mallers, the senior from Fort Wayne, Indiana. 48% from beyond the arc, third best in the Mid-American Conference. And how about the shot blocking machine, James Banks III? 31 blocks, and He's got almost 4 per game, best in the conference. Time for our keys to the game, brought to you by your local Ford dealer with Brian Oliver.
Well, Tom, I think for Ball State, they've got early offense. They want to try to get out in transition and get up some early shots, because we talked about this is the team that shoots a ton of threes. For Georgia Tech, stay disciplined on defense. Again, you know what they give you as far as the matchup zone and when they play man-to-man. They have to be able to come back, get to that three-point line, and be disciplined on their principles.
Michael DeVoe, you saw him, number 0 there for Georgia Tech, struggled against Kentucky in the most recent game for Georgia Tech. Just 5 points, couple of rebounds, and he missed all 5 of his three-point attempts. They'll need more from DeVoe tonight against the Cardinals. Out of the MAC, and Georgia Tech has the first possession. They're in the white. Ball State's in the black with the red trim. Georgia Tech's already played a couple of conference games. They are 1-1 in ACC play. First conference game was a victory against NC State, but a loss at home against the Syracuse Orange in that other ACC contest. Shot clock is down to 5 for the Jackets. Little following on the baseline is good. Moses Wright.
Moses Wright has picked up his offense last 4 games, averaging a double-double, 15 points and 10 rebounds. Josh Pastner's really high on his development.
He was the leading scorer against Kentucky with 13 points in that loss on Saturday at then number 8 Kentucky, 67-53. Georgia Tech did shoot 43% in that game, but ended up losing to the Wildcats and got out-rebounded in that one. James Whitford is the head coach for Ball State. He's in his 7th season, 94 wins, 4th most victories in school history at Ball State. His time in Muncie, Indiana, as a head coach for the last 7 seasons. That loose ball taken by the Cardinals. Miss on the drive by Coleman. Usher wants to run it. And an offensive foul is called.
You see Jordan Usher trying to get some early offense. We had a chance to talk with Coach Woodford early. He talked about his ball club and the fact that he loves his skill set. And this is a very skilled team. They're going to get back because they understand that Georgia Tech's going to take advantage of opportunities to run when they can.
Also had a nice chat with Josh Pastner, and it took him about 2 seconds to say we must defend the 3 against Ball State tonight if we're going to be successful.
And interesting, we saw them at shoot-around today where they were focusing on staying disciplined on trying to get out to those shooters, force them off that three-point shot. Again, this Ball State team puts up 28 three-pointers a game, making 10 of them.
They made 15 threes on 34 chances in a win December 7th in their most recent game at home against IUPUI. And that one was blocked by Usher. Again, his first game in a Georgia Tech uniform. Plenty of experience, though, for Usher at Southern Cal. 48 games played, and he played high school ball in Marietta, Georgia at Wheeler High School.
Well, one of the things we talk about is him giving them an offensive boost. But the Tech coaches are really high on his motor and the fact that he plays really good defense. You see, not able to get one down, and you imagine this is a guy that hadn't played in a year, so it's got to be jitters. You know, he wants to do well. He's had to sit out this long. And so I think the best thing for him, just let the game come to him, keep playing hard on defense, and those shots will fall.
That's a long-range miss for Ball State and Elamine. Georgia Tech keeping up the brisk pace. DeVoe ran into a double team, nowhere to go. Top of the scouting report for Georgia Tech. Michael DeVoe, over 19 points per game, 3rd of the ACC. Kept alive on the boards. Banks. Pass underneath, and that one just hung up there on the rim on the shot attempt.
Good defensive possession by Ball State. Georgia Tech coming up short, 2 offensive rebounds.
Moore couldn't get the finish at one end. It's knocked away, and that was Banks defensively. Here's DeVoe thinking about 3, and it's a good thought.
Josh Pastner said he wants his guys to pick up tempo. Any chance they get on the missed shot, they get out in that first 7 seconds, try to get an opportunity. You see Michael DeVoe knocking down that three.
That is a huge three for DeVoe. In his last 2 games prior to tonight, just 1 of 10 from beyond the arc as Ball State comes back with a bucket. Mallers at the other end to get the Cardinals on the board. Talked about the three-point shot. That's where they start. Usher hopping through the paint, but the double dribble and the violation. And Usher will get a breather. Coming to that bench and a quick chat with Pastner. Third turnover of the first half for Georgia Tech. Prior to that make by Mallers, Ball State had been 0 for 4 from the floor. They're on the board and trailing early to Georgia Tech. Told you it's the first all-time meeting. But Ball State does have a history against the ACC and teams that joined the ACC. We'll get into that history in a little bit as they've tied this game at 5.
We talked about Ball State will shoot threes, but they've got playmakers. You saw Elamine being able to hit that little runner. He and Mallers are guys that both shoot in a high plus 45 from behind the arc. And they're going to put a lot of pressure on the Tech defenders to come out and stop them from shooting that three.
Whip it inside to Banks. Draws 3 defenders, and the shot clock is down to 8. That's a difficult shot in a crowded area for Khalid Moore. DeVoe wants to run off the miss. Parham in and out. Wright kept it alive. DeVoe drops it off. The miss inside by Banks, but a whistle stops play. There's a timeout on the court. We're tied at 5. Georgia Tech and Ball State.
Medical alert. The popular heartburn medication Zantac has been linked to numerous cases of cancer. The U.S. Food and Drug Administration has issued an advisory warning the public of the cancer risks associated with Zantac. If you or a loved one used Zantac and then developed any of the listed types of cancer, you may be entitled to financial compensation. You have the right to take action. Call us today, toll-free, at 800-230-9444 for a free consultation. 800-230-9444. Non-attorney spokesperson.
After retiring from the NFL, I've been able to spend a lot more time coaching my daughter's basketball teams. It's something I love to do. Through our games and our tournaments, we see all types of coaching, good and bad. And it begs the question, do we really know who's coaching our kids? Do they have the proper training and screening it would take for me to be comfortable with my daughters playing for that coach?
Sometimes we get injured while playing sports. Sometimes we hurt our heads and even get concussions. We need positive coaches to help make sports fun. That's why we play. Our parents need to be able to trust our coaches.
Trusted Coaches has an advanced risk management platform that creates a culture of best practices or standard for your youth sports organization.
Our Youth Basketball Association made the decision to use Trusted Coaches to screen and train all of our coaches. I'm a trusted coach. Are you?
How much faster could one chuck work if one chuck had 2 chucks?
The award-winning switch driver does more faster. Quick releasing chucks save you time, while torque control gives you clean, beautiful holes without stripping your screws.
If you live somewhere and own things, this versatile workhorse is the perfect tool for you.
And no cords needed. Because every switch driver comes with 2 20-volt batteries that you can use with all your Works Power Share tools. Get yours today at switchdriver.com.
In the huddle with Josh Pastner, the 4th-year head coach for the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets. Won 21 games in his first season in 2017. They went 14-18 a season ago. 10th in the ACC and lost in the first round of the ACC tournament in Charlotte, 80-70 to Notre Dame. The tournament ultimately won by Duke against Florida State in that title game. James Banks will be at the free throw line for Georgia Tech. 67% of the season from the stripe for Banks, the senior from Decatur, Georgia. First player to go to the line in our game. And Bryant in that game against Kentucky on Saturday. Just 6 free throws attempted by Georgia Tech, and they made 2 of them.
I think one of the things that Georgia Tech can do is use the advantage on their size with Wright and Banks on the inside, especially on offensive boards. Already 3 offensive boards. They've just got to be able to capitalize on getting those second possessions.
Grabbed by Wright in the outlet. Jackets trying to stop a 2-game losing streak. Lost on December 7th against Syracuse. 97-63 in their last home game. Long touchdown pass stripped away. And the long outlet to DeVoe. By his lonesome, still going to the rim.
Ball State doing a really good job of being able to stop DeVoe. I thought that last chance that he went to the basket, a little bit of a rush shot. If you're Georgia Tech, you've got to be patient, take your opportunities. But Ball State doing a good job of limiting them to 1 possession.
So far, the Yellow Jackets just 2 of 9 from the floor. Phillips and Usher into the game for Georgia Tech.
Josh Pastner really high on this ball club. Said he thought that this is probably his most veteran ball club that he has here at Tech. You know, obviously we haven't spoken much about Jose Alvarado. They're looking to get him back hopefully towards the end of the year. I mean, you throw in Jordan Usher here. This is a team that's, you know, a lot older and more experienced.
You mentioned Alvarado. He's missed 6 of the last 7 games with that ankle injury. Injured in practice in mid-November. When you say end of the year, you mean December. When ACC play starts, you got teams like Florida State and North Carolina on the horizon, and Duke as well. In fact, December 31st, they're at Florida State, and then they follow that up at North Carolina January 4th. Elamine picked up the foul. Banks is going to come out of the lineup for Georgia Tech. Shambari Phillips on the inbounds. 13:21 on the game clock. Here at McCamish Pavilion. Ron Groover, Jeff Hahn, Trey Styons are officials tonight. This is Usher with a pull-up. Right, swatted at it, hit Usher. Aggressive drive, and 2.
Jordan Usher finally on the books, and I think that for a player, when you get started, getting that first basket allows you to be able to calm down a little bit. You see, starting out, there's a lot of tension when you're getting up because you want to do your best. Being able to get his first 2 points on the board.
3rd straight year that Ball State is playing an opponent from the ACC. And that's a 3-pointer. Hazen gets it.
Well, that was one of the things when we talked with James Woodford, he thought with his guys will put a lot of pressure on the bigs from Georgia Tech because they're not so comfortable coming out to challenge that 3-point shot.
That's just the 4th made 3 of the season for Hazen. And the foul is going against the Yellow Jackets as it was Mallers who hit the court. Usher's picked up his 2nd foul.
You see the penetration here. And you see Mallers making the rotation, had his feet set. Again, Georgia Tech has to do a better job with their penetration. If you see Usher, I know that he's anxious. He's got to let the game come to him. Try to avoid penetrating without dishing, and it has to stay under control.
Back in 2017, this Ball State team went on the road and defeated then number 9 Notre Dame, 80-77. Also played Virginia Tech in 2018. Lost to the Hokies. And then this year, Georgia Tech on the schedule. And in fact, these 2 teams, Brian, could see each other once again. Now, they'll definitely see each other tomorrow morning. They're on the same flight to Hawaii.
Middle.
These 2 teams are playing in the Diamond Head Classic in Honolulu. They'll play 3 games from December 22nd to the 25th. So they'll spend the Christmas holiday in Hawaii. of bounds. They're going to stay with Ball State.
Officials, timeout.
Timeout on the court. And the Cardinals own a 2-point lead against the Jackets.
This is important news for people who have taken Zantac or its generic ranitidine and then suffered from cancer. Zantac and generic ranitidine have been linked to cancers such as bladder cancer and kidney cancer. According to the FDA, Zantac and ranitidine contain NDMA, a known cancer-causing agent. NDMA has been linked to cancers of the bladder, kidney, colon, esophagus, liver, ovaries, pancreas, and other cancers. If you or a loved one took Zantac or ranitidine and were then diagnosed with cancer, call the lawyers at Davis & Crump right now to see if you're eligible for a cash award and medical expenses. Call the lawyers at Davis & Crump right now if you or a loved one took Zantac or generic ranitidine and were then diagnosed with bladder cancer, kidney cancer, or any of these cancers. Call now to see if you're eligible for a cash award and medical expenses. Our first consultation is free, and we don't get paid unless you get paid. Call Davis & Crump right now. Operators are standing by.
Bring color to life with the very best paint, only at your Sherwin-Williams store.
In the huddle with James Whitford, the 7th-year head coach for the Ball State Cardinals with a 2-point lead. Back in 1990, now that was a great year for Georgia Tech and Brian Oliver, Final Four, but pretty good for Ball State as well. Their one and only appearance in the Sweet 16 started against Oregon State and Gary Payton. And then they took on Louisville and defeated the Cardinals as well as a number 12 seed. On to the Sweet 16, and they ran up against UNLV. Georgia Tech, unfortunately, also ran up against UNLV, but look how close that game was and a chance to get to the Elite Eight, Brian.
Yeah, good friend of mine, Travis McCurdy, was on that 1990 team. And oddly enough, had they gotten past UNLV, who knows, we probably would have met them in the Final Four. God, that's back in the day of the short shorts.
You're going to bring that back?
Well, I've seen a couple players out here with some that it seemed like that trend is coming back. I wish it had stayed back in the 90s.
Not for UNLV. They wore the big baggy shorts, right? With Larry Johnson and crew. And they beat Duke in the title game convincingly back in 1990. Georgia Tech to the Final Four with Brian Oliver and his talented teammates, Dennis Scott, Kenny Anderson, and the rest. Shot clock was deep for Ball State.
Georgia Tech mixing up their defense and giving Ball State a lot of different looks. And again, we talked about them being disciplined to make sure that they get out those three-point shooters. You saw Buffalo being able to jack up that three. This is a team we talked that will put up 28 attempts a game.
Knocked away from Banks. Coleman gave it off Walton. Around the perimeter, back to Coleman for a 3-ball.
Nice ball movement. You see Coleman set that up with the penetration, and the ball did not die. Ball State doing a good job of being able to find the shooters.
First points for Coleman and third made 3 of the game for Ball State in the first half. DeVoe against 2 defenders. Banks wrapped up Teague.
We see great ball movement, finding open shooter. Coleman wide open. And again, they put a lot of pressure on the defenses because this is a team that uses the penetration and good spacing.
Cardinals are on an 8-2 run and lead 13-8. Just about midway through this first half, so glad that you have joined us. Tom Wormy, Brian Oliver, our outstanding ACC College Hoops production crew with you from McCamish Pavilion. And the move inside by Teague.
Ball State doing a good job of realizing when they throw the ball in the Teague, it's basically a one-on-one against Banks. And again, he's a guy that can finish around the rim. Very athletic. Ball State doing a good job of recognizing where to get the ball into the spaces.
Traveling violation against Georgia Tech, and now 8 turnovers in the first half.
You see right now, all the Georgia Tech players are staying low, and then T going one-on-one, absorbing the contact and finishing at the rim. And when you go against a shot blocker, the best thing to do is to go into his body and then be able to finish. That last time, T taking advantage of a one-on-one opportunity against Banks.
T came off the bench for 8 points and 8 rebounds in the win against IUPUI in the most recent game for Ball State. Launching the long-distance 3, and good. It's Coleman.
What set that up, Tom, was the fact that you pull Teague out and you put 5 out, and then Banks stays in. Yet another Georgia Tech turnover.
Cardinals on the move. That's knocked away. Khalid Moore. Usher surrounded. Rolls out of bounds across the baseline of Ball State basketball.
Another thing that Josh Passion had mentioned, turnovers have hurt Georgia Tech. Last 2 games, 17 turns. And again, something he's talking about, ball security is a big thing right now. Ball State doing a good job of being able to get deflections and turnovers. Georgia Tech a little flustered right now because they're turning over on one end. Ball State's getting what they want on the other end for offense.
Georgia Tech last scored at the 13:05 mark of this first half. We're closing in on 9 minutes to go. That's a travel inside by T. 5th turnover of the half for Ball State. Bumbalo comes out of the lineup. Acree is in there, number 13 from black and red. DeVoe hesitation. Very difficult shot from underneath the rim.
Georgia Tech seeming out of sorts right now. Bad shot by Michael DeVoe.
Cut and the drive. Elamine, eyes for the rim. And a timeout on the court of the first half.
Ball State able to get whatever they want on offense. Being able to get inside, outside. This is a team that's being able to score right now. Got the Yellow Jackets on their heels.
At Chevy, we're all about bringing families together.
This time of year, that's really important.
That's why our Chevy employee discount is now available to everyone.
The Chevy price you pay is what we pay.
Not a cent more. Family is important to us.
So happy holidays.
And welcome to the family.
The Chevy family.
Use your Chevy employee discount for everyone to get a total value of over $11,800 on this Silverado All-Star.
Visit ChooseYourChevy.com.
Shh. It's quiet. It's battery-powered. It moves around via intelligent navigation. But this robot doesn't keep your carpet clean. It keeps your grass like a carpet 24/7. Husqvarna Auto Mower gives a lawn so perfect, you'll want it inside your house. Buy yourself some time to do other things. Buy the world leader in robotic mowing at your Husqvarna reseller today.
Are you a good student? Interested in attending college but need help? Each year, the Jimmy Rain Foundation gives scholarships to worthy students pursuing a college education. So if you're a high school senior or age 20 or younger and in your first 2 years of college, you're encouraged to apply. More than 300 students have already received scholarships, and the next one could be yours. Applications will be available only at jimmyrainfoundation.org.
You're watching Fox Sports Midwest.
Cardinals have a 20-8 lead against the Yellow Jackets. Brian, Ball State has made 6 of its last 8 shots and moving well without the basketball, blowing by the D for Georgia Tech.
Well, if you see Coleman, he sets this play up with the penetration, being able to get into the zone. You see the back pick and then the back cut by Elamine. Again, one of the things we talked about with Georgia Tech was being disciplined in their defense. And so Ball State, by being able to knock down those threes, get into the basket, you see a 13-0 run in the last 14-15. A lot of that set up is by being able to space out Georgia Tech, knock down shots, and then be able to penetrate in that zone.
So Ball State as a team shooting 50% from the floor and 50% from beyond. 22 feet, 1 3/4 inches away. From three-point distance, they are 4 of 8 so far in this game. And this is a team that makes 10 per game.
Well, and another thing that's really hurt Georgia Tech already, 10 turnovers, and we're right under the 10-minute mark.
Yellow Jackets 1 of their last 7 field goals. Stuck on 8, haven't scored since the 13:05 mark first half. DeVoe forcing his way to the rim. That's some determination right there from Michael DeVoe.
The greater issue for Georgia Tech is getting stops. Again, eye on the ball, making sure you step up. Don't fall for getting the ball outside.
5 points in the first half for DeVoe. He's got a three-pointer to his credit. This is Parham. Prior to that DeVoe drive, Georgia Tech had been shooting just 21% from the floor in this first half, working the shot clock down to 5. That one is knocked away in tight quarters. Cardinals running. Mallers had the layup attempt. It got caught up in the rim.
Good transition defense by Bubba Parham. But yet another turnover, and you see Ball State being able to get back. How about Bubba Parham not giving up on the play, being able to get set to draw that charge? And you see Elamine question. I'm not sure if he was there, Tom Warmy.
It is his second foul of the first half.
Maybe that's why I'm sitting over here next to you instead of out there with a whistle in my mouth.
For Ishmael Elamine, son of Khalid Elamine, of the 1999 National Championship team from the University of Connecticut, which defeated Duke at Tropicana Field back in '99 in that title contest. Georgia Tech now just 4 of 16 from the floor in total. The move to the glass. Silky smooth Jerron Coleman.
You remember we talked earlier with James Whitford, and he talked about Jerron Coleman and said as a freshman, this is a guy that's got a lot of game in his bag. How about the breakdown being a blow by right, shot blocker, very athletic in the finish.
Parham wants 3. That'll rim out. Coleman had 20 points and was the leading scorer in that victory against IUPUI for Ball State in its most recent game. He was 7 of 8 from the floor and made 3 three-point baskets and had that last move for 2. Fouled in the paint on the drive. Acree, the redshirt freshman from Carbondale, Illinois. Usher's picked up his 3rd. Free throws upcoming. And the first free throws of the night for Ball State. It's the first miss from the line this season for Acree. Before his next free throw, a quick word from Advance Auto Parts.
I can sign 12 autographs in 6 seconds. So reminding you to check your battery this fast, easy.
Kunai Acree had been 4 for 4 from the free throw line. 1 of 2. He had 11 points off the bench as Elamine has a conversation with his head coach, James Whitford. Ball State played in the postseason in 2016 and 17 in the College Insider Tournament. Cardinals have the ball back in the midst of a 15-2 run. Acree lost the handle. Parham able to scoop it up and give it to Banks. How about Moore all the way to the rack?
Nice move by Khalid Moore. Again, I think for Georgia Tech, they've got to get turnovers. Ball State has done a really good job of being able to run their offense. Georgia Tech cannot afford to help on the pick and roll because they've got guys knocking down three-point shots.
First points of the night for Khalid Moore, the sophomore from Briarwood, New York. The long rebound into the corner, and DeVoe tries to gather it It will be Georgia Tech basketball.
You see Khalid Moore being able to go coast to coast, realize that he's got bungalow on him, gets there with his length. Good finish at the basket. And again, Josh Pastor talking on opportunities to run in transition, trying to get an opportunity to score first 7 seconds.
Khalid Moore, who attended Archbishop Malloy High School, same as Kenny Anderson. Moore had 10 points, double digits against Kentucky in 33 minutes.
This lineup with Wright and James Banks out there would love to see Georgia Tech be able to get the ball a little bit more inside. You're playing in Ball State's hands because it's a smaller lineup. Georgia Tech has had success in the past with that high-low between Wright and Banks.
Teague just picked up his second foul for Ball State. We're inside of 5 minutes to go in our first half. Thanks to a 15-2 run by the Cardinals, they lead at 23-12. This is Wright. Fenced in. Shot clock's at 3. Must shoot it. And a foul was called. Kyle Mallers, his first personal, right at the very end of the shot clock. I'm not even sure if that ball and the shot attempt by Wright actually hit the rim.
Got to be frustrated if you're James Whitford because you played that possession well.
I think the officials, Ron Groover, Jeff Pond, Trey Styons, are going to check on it. Exactly what we described, Brian. Look at the expression from Mallers as he was defending right to the very end of that shot clock. Trey Styons on the right. His father, Ray, well-known official. In fact, he's working the game at Virginia tonight against Stony Brook. And Ray worked the very first game in newly refurbished.
Three potential different things: shot clock, foul before the shot clock, foul after the shot clock.
Okay, so we're being told that there are several aspects to this review. They're checking on the shot clock itself and if a foul occurred before or after the shot clock, or if the ball actually hit the rim on the shot by Wright. And as I was saying, Trey Styons, his dad Ray, was on the officiating crew for the first game here in McCamish Pavilion back in 2012, and I had the honor of calling that game against Tulane with our broadcast colleague Corey Alexander, the former Virginia standout. So it all comes together, Brian,
you
right
are
here
jack of all
in
trades,
Atlanta, Georgia.
man.
What do you think of this replay here? Did this ball hit the rim? I'm not sure it did.
So at the angle, it's hard to see whether it may have grazed it or not. You can tell by it not ricocheting off, but again, it's hard to tell from this angle.
You got to get out the protractor and the T-square and try to figure out the physics on that one.
You're talking my language now,
all right.
Man.
Figure one, upgrade on 14. Banks going to shoot 2. It's going to be tech ball underneath.
So they were also checking for a flagrant foul, right, Brian?
Yes, he was. He said flagrant 1.
Okay. And that's on Mallers.
On Mallers. Banks shoots 2 free throws. Tech ball.
So now, even if the ball didn't hit the rim, if the foul occurred within the confines of that shot clock opportunity for Georgia Tech, you got the flagrant foul on Mallers, 2 shots coming up, and as you said, Georgia Tech will maintain possession. Flagrant 1, excessive and or unnecessary, and you can get up to 5 flagrant 1 fouls. They all count as personal fouls. Flagrant 2 is a different story. You can only get one of those, and then you're disqualified from the ball game.
And if you're James Whitford, you have to be frustrated because that defensive possession was a very good one by Ball State.
%67% on the season for Banks, for the senior. Transfer from Texas.
And if you're James Whitford, you don't want to give Georgia Tech an opportunity to get some kind of rhythm going. They have had a hard time this first 15 minutes of the half of being able to find points. And again, giving them 2 opportunities here gives Georgia Tech a chance to find some kind of offensive rhythm.
So Banks is now 3 for 4 from the free throw line. And this has the potential of being a 4 to 5 point possession, although Mallers steps in the passing lane and intercepts. Josh Thompson is also in there for Ball State, dribbling now, number 3 in black. Knocked away by Wright. Shot clock is inside of 10. Game clock's inside of 4 minutes to go in the first half. Step back action, nothing available for T. Out of the corner for 3, right in front of the Georgia Tech bench. It's Kyle Mallers.
And if you're Michael DeVoe, you got to read the scouting report on Mallers. Mallers 45% from behind the arc. Georgia Tech doing a good job of playing defense, but then the bailout, you see James Banks trying to attempt his first three of the game.
And first attempted 3 of the season for Banks. Mallers, catch and release. And now DeVoe. Michael DeVoe averaging over 19 points per game. Struggled in the last 2. Does have a 3 in the first half. Just over 3 minutes to go between Georgia Tech and Ball State. First 20 minutes, McCamish Pavilion, Atlanta, Georgia. Shot clock's at 3. Moore gets it to Banks. And a foul was called with 1 second on the shot clock by Ron Groover. It's going to be against Walton and be his first, with the Cardinals in front of the Jackets.
I got this mountain bike for only $11.
DealDash.com, the fair and honest bidding site. We've sold an iPad worth $505 for less than $24. A stand mixer for less than $20. A 4K television for under $2. A MacBook Pro for under $16. As well as a PlayStation 4 for under $16. And brand new cars for less than $900. DealDash.com offers hundreds of auctions every day. All auctions start at $0 and everything must go. And don't forget, we offer a full 90-day money-back guarantee on your first bid pack purchase.
I won these Bluetooth headphones for $20.
I got these 3 suitcases for less than $40.
And shipping is always free.
Go to DealDash.com today and see how much you can save.
There are auctions going on right now. So what are you waiting for?
Individually, we are 30 million Vanguard investors. Together, we're changing the way the world invests.
Wear by Erin Andrews is a sportswear collection I started so that all women can support their teams in fan apparel that's fashion forward, comfortable, and can be worn everywhere, anywhere. Find it at fanatics.com, officially licensed everything.
How much faster could one chuck work if one chuck had 2 chucks?
The award-winning switch driver does more faster. Quick releasing chucks save you time, while torque control gives you clean, beautiful holes without stripping your screws.
If you live somewhere and own things, this versatile workhorse is the perfect tool for you.
And no cords needed. Because every switch driver comes with 2 20-volt batteries that you can use with all your Works Power Share tools. Get yours today at switchdriver.com.
Cardinals have the lead against the Jackets here at McCamish Pavilion, 26-14, just inside 3 minutes to go in our first half. Georgia Tech trying to snap a 2-game losing streak. They have struggled recently from beyond the arc, and tonight just 1 of 7. Michael DeVoe has the only made 3 of the game for Georgia Tech. Brian Oliver.
Yeah, and what stands out for me, Tom, is that for Georgia Tech, talk about 23% field goal shooting, 14%, 12 turnovers, and then on the other end for Ball State, they're shooting 47% field goal, and they're 5 of 11 from behind the arc.
And they've got the 26-14 lead. Banks is back at the free throw line. So far tonight, all of his points, despite that miss, have come from the line. He's got 3 points. That 3-point attempt that he took a couple minutes ago The first of his career from straight away at the top of the key there.
Well, that explains, too, when we watched them at shoot-around, you know, when they divvy up for shots, I did see him out there jacking up threes with the guards, and so it explains it. If you're Georgia Tech, the way to get back into this game in this last under 3 minutes, you got to get some stops. Ball State has been able to run their offense. They've been going in and out, penetrating, and Georgia Tech has not been able to stifle their defense normally what they're accustomed to.
Yeah, just 24% from the floor. This could be a Ball State foul against Teague and be his third. So Taj Teague will have to come out of the ball game. It was Bumbalo on the dribble.
With the lineup that Ball State has on the floor, I still would like to see Georgia Tech give Banks a touch inside. I think that with he and Wright, they have to use their length and stop bringing them away from the basket, because I think that takes the advantage away.
Georgia Tech 2-2 in its last 4 games. And a miscommunication on the pass as it hits the scorer's table. And that's 13 turnovers in the first half for the Yellow Jackets. Most recent win for Georgia Tech, December 4th. At home against Nebraska, 73-56, the ACC Big Ten Challenge. And as we mentioned, they also won on the road in their first ACC game this season, early November at NC State, 82-81. Hazen picks up the foul for Ball State. And the Yellow Jackets have given it right back to the Cardinals.
And those unforced turnovers have got to be frustrating for Josh Pastner. Again, his team is not giving themselves an opportunity at possession. You see 15 points with just 2 minutes left to go in the first half.
Coleman with the kick out. They worked that perimeter. Pass was deflected. They were looking for Mallers inside. And now Wright. Traveling against Georgia Tech. Really struggling now.
You see the last penetration by Moses Wright. Committing in the air. Good defense by Ball State. Not committing the foul.
So 17 turnovers against Kentucky in the loss of their most recent game on Saturday. They've already got 15 tonight against Ball State. Didn't help that Georgia Tech went through about 5 minutes without scoring in this first half. And Banks was challenged, and the bucket for Ball State. And Coleman, he's got 10. He's into double digits. First player in our game to get to double digits in scoring.
Well, what it allows them to get to the basket. If you've got a team that can shoot the ball as well as they do from behind the three-point line, you've got to honor that. Ron Coleman has done a good job of being able to get to the basket at will.
That foul is going to be on Luke Bumbalo. That's his first on Bumbalo. Bonus situation, Georgia Tech. Khalid Moore at the free throw line, 48% of the season from the stripe. See, he averages about 7 points per game. He's got 2 tonight. Georgia Tech takes it back. They're going inside to Banks. He's got the size advantage, tries to bend that rim, and then it went off of Banks, out of bounds. Ball State has possession.
Recovery by Ball State, being able to get the ball, and you thought James Banks being able to finish. You see the lob here, and then how about the block from behind by Hazen? And you see Banks looks like what it should have been a definite easy 2, but the block from behind, not giving up on the play.
So with 45 seconds to go in the first half, straightaway 3, Mallers. He's got 9 points, and they've all come on 3-point buckets for Mallers. Out of bounds, off of the Yellow Jackets. Their lowest first half production this season is 25 points. They've got 15 on the board. with just under 28 seconds to go in the first half.
Well, if you look at the players from Georgia Tech, it seems like a lot of frustration because they're trying to hit their home run on one end, and then Ball State is able to get whatever they want on the other, be it penetration or guys and Mallows knocking down three or Coleman getting to the basket.
Final 10 seconds. First personal on DeVoe with 5.5 on the clock. Ball State is taking a timeout. And up 31-15. Largest lead of the game right now for Ball State. Up by 16 points.
Ron Coleman has been that guy from the beginning. Has come out and has been the star of the first half. Has been a guy that can be able to get to the basket and knock down the three. And we talked to James Whitford. He said that a lot of times he's the best player on the court. Definitely showing that on display, being able to get the basket, knock down the three. And he has been able to single-handedly put this Ball State team on his shoulders. You see 10 points, 4 for 5, and he's been real solid. The guy he's a 6'5" guy that is a playmaker, and he's been able to create a lot of hard times for the defenders of Georgia Tech.
Evan Cole picks up the foul. 4.8 on the clock. Cole, the junior, getting some time here at the end of the first half for Georgia Tech. Ball State is 6 of 12 on three-point attempts. And Coleman showed he's got 10 points, well above his season average of 6.7. Bumbalo. And that ends the first half. So 6 of 13 from beyond the arc after the miss by Bumbalo at the end of the first half. But it's a struggle for Georgia Tech, Brian Oliver. Just 15 first half points.
Well, a lot of that, too, I think, has to do with Ball State being committed to knowing that they have to force them. The 16 turns, definitely pain in Georgia Tech's side. Ball State coming in here, up 16, doing a great job, doing it inside, outside. Definitely putting in a frustrating day for the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets.
And the Cardinals are 5-1 this season when they own the halftime lead. They've got it here at McCamish Pavilion in Atlanta, Georgia. This is ACC College Hoops.
For military men and women, the desire to serve is in their core. Yet when they come home, their potential remains untapped. We're building a movement of veterans and volunteers to transform neighborhoods. We go beyond community service. We're a catalytic force driving lasting impact across the country. We are the Mission Continues. To serve alongside us or donate, visit missioncontinues.org.
People love football. They can quote player stats, recite how many touchdowns the Niners scored last year, but you know what a lot of people don't show much love for? Their kidneys. When my brother Tom got diagnosed with CKD, that was the heaviest hit of all. And since 30 million American adults suffer from kidney disease, I want to make kidney stats as widely quoted as football stats. Ask your doctor about kidney health. Visit kidney.org to learn more. When I played football, I thought I was invincible. But when my brother Tom got sick with chronic kidney disease, I didn't feel so invincible. Learning everything I could about CKD helped me get some of that invincibility back, like the fact that 30 million adults suffer from it. But it can be prevented by eating healthy, exercising, and drinking water. Talk to your doctor about chronic kidney disease. Visit kidney.org or call 800-622-9010 to learn more.
Our family is no less than any other family.
My heart doesn't see race. Love is love.
Halftime here in Atlanta, Georgia. ACC College Hoops. We're glad that you're with us. Although the Cardinals have stormed in here in the first ever meeting between the programs and taken the 31-15 halftime lead over the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets. Ball State as a team shooting 50% from the floor in the first half. Struggles for Georgia Tech in this first half. When we come back, a chat with Josh Pastner, the fourth-year head coach of the Yellow Jackets. He's driven when we come back.
Hi, I'm Barb, and you may have heard about SoClean. It's the fast and easy way to maintain your sleep equipment. Did you know manufacturers recommend that you wash your equipment every day using soap and water? That's a lot of work and a lot of hassle. But now there's an easy option. With SoClean, all you need to do is put your sleep equipment in, close the lid, and walk away. It saves you time, it saves you hassle. Just one touch, and SoClean does all the work for you. You can try SoClean risk-free for 30 nights. Even shipping is free. Plus, when you call right now, get $50 off. Call 1-800-856-9509. Or go to SoClean.com to take advantage of this risk-free trial. Call 1-800-856-9509. Now. So fast, so easy, so clean.
Bring color to life with the very best paint, only at your Sherwin-Williams store.
From inner space to cyberspace to outer space. If we can do all of this, just imagine what we're doing in our own backyard.
You're watching Fox Sports Midwest.
Welcome back to McCamish Pavilion. Halftime between Georgia Tech and Ball State. Throughout the season, we'll be bringing you profiles of some of our outstanding ACC head coaches. And tonight, we continue our tour with a conversation with Georgia Tech's Josh Pastner.
This is Driven, Josh Pastner. Presented by your local Toyota dealers.
When was it you first discovered the passion for basketball and that you knew that this was going to be your career path?
Yeah, I remember when I was in 5th grade, and I was watching the Lakers versus Celtics on one of those national networks.
So was I.
And, yeah, and I remember it vividly. I remember telling my dad, I want to stay in the game of basketball. And I knew I figured the next best thing to playing was coaching. Now, I worked my tail off to try to be a great player, but I also I was aware that my dad was 5'11" and probably not real athletic, and my mom was 5'4", and I just wasn't going to get the genes to probably be good enough to eventually to play in the NBA. Once I knew my playing career was going to be up, how could I stay in the game and to keep that adrenaline rush? And I assumed and I figured the next best thing besides playing was coaching.
How important towards that end were the days playing in Arizona?
Oh, Arizona, God bless Lute Olson. He gave me an incredible opportunity, one, to be part of the team in 1997 to win the national championship, but then working my way up and being on staff. I'm very lucky. I got some doors open for me. Now, I had to take advantage of those opportunities and doors, but I recognize that I was a lot of times at the right place at the right time and things worked itself out. And in life, you just need a little break here or there.
Yeah. So right place, right time for Georgia Tech now with the challenge that lies ahead, the collection of coaches that you face every week and the challenges that are presented by that.
First off, the ACC is it's the best basketball league in college. You want to compete against the best, and that's what this league forces you to do. It's one of those few leagues where you can be really good and not even be in the top half. Hopefully we can just keep moving forward and we got to kick some guys down to get up there, but we're going to have to do it if we want to move forward.
Driven, Josh Pastner is presented by your local Toyota dealers. The all-new 2019 RAV4. Visit your local Toyota dealers or Toyota.com today. Toyota, let's go places.
Every time you show up, every time you make your loyalties clear, and the moments that inspire you, and the ones that challenge your nerve, whether you're banging the glass or still learning the ropes, however you choose to be a fan, you make the game. And they make history. April 9th and 11th in Detroit. Nothing beats the crowd. Visit ntaa.com/Frozen4 to get your tickets today.
Throw your hands up when you feel the vibe. Keep them in the air and shake them side to side. We putting on the pressure. You better go harder. When the pressure's on us, it makes us work smarter. Stand up, get up, and put your hands up. Shake them side to side and get ready to ride. If you think you got game, then bring it on. Throw your hands up when you feel the vibe. Keep them in the air and shake them side to side. We putting on the pressure. You better go harder. When the pressure's on us, it makes us work smarter.
When I was a kid, I wanted to be just like Cal Ripken. It's definitely humbling to know that now people are calling me a hero. We were doing a push into Taliban territory. Instead of finding the IED with my metal detector, the IED found me first, and that resulted in double above-knee amputations. There are people now that are looking up to you for their inspiration and to be their role model.
Nice to meet you.
Good to meet
Good.
you.
How are you doing?
Meeting Cal for the first time was surreal. I mean, it's hard to describe the feeling of meeting somebody that you've always wanted to be like. You're realizing that there are people now that are looking up to you for their inspiration and to be their role model. And so it certainly is sobering. It comes with a weight of responsibility. It's so important that we continue to help veterans into the foreseeable future.
For more information, visit saluteheroes.org.
Look, the Wonder Dog is peacefully hibernating until opening day 2020. Deliver the goodies with a holiday 10-pack and get one free adult admission to FanFest. Visit royals.com/holiday for details.
ACC College Hoops is brought to you by Toyota. Visit your local Toyota dealers today. Toyota, let's go places. And Husqvarna, all-star lawns start with Automower.
Oh, the halftime baby race, always a favorite with the crowd at any arena for that matter as we celebrate the holidays. Of course, the fans in the arena enjoyed the baby race at halftime, Brian, but maybe not so much the basketball from the home team.
Yeah, and it's been all Ball State from the beginning. Georgia Tech has not been able to find offense. Ball State came in. We talked about the fact that they're a team that shoots the three really well. They did a good job of being able to stifle the Georgia Tech defense. And I think a lot of frustration led to a lot of different turnovers. And when you look at it, points off of turnovers, 15 points. And again, disastrous shooting for Georgia Tech, 23%. And it's been all Ball State, Tom, and I think that a lot of it has been they've come in with a game plan and been able to execute it better than Georgia Tech.
6 of 13 from beyond the arc. And the Yellow Jackets made just 5 field goals in the first half, and Ball State has built that halftime lead.
And again, they came out and they were able to execute and be able to get their shots. And again, as the team we talked about shooting and making 10 three-pointers, that was on display. They were able to move the ball, get it to the open guy, and they came out and did a good job of executing their offense by knocking down the three and allowed a lot of opportunities to get back cuts to the basket, to be able to get runs at the rim. And Georgia Tech wasn't able to stop them because they have playmakers, and Coleman that could get to the basket. He had a very big half. Mahlers, too. I thought that, again, they did a good job of being able to stifle Georgia Tech on one end and then execute very well from behind the arc and get into the basket on the other.
Yeah, Coleman had 10 points for Ball State in the first half. He was the only player to get to double digits. It's a problem if your leading scorer only has 5 points in the first half, and that's Michael DeVoe.
Yeah, and I thought that he rushed it a lot. Again, I thought that there was a lot of frustration with Georgia Tech. They didn't seem like they settled into their offense. Only 4 points in the paint. Again, 16 down. First 5 minutes is always key. Interesting to see how they open up the second half.
Georgia Tech was just 1 of 7 from three-point territory, and DeVoe knocked down that lone three-pointer. 31-15, the halftime lead for the Cardinals.
I got this mountain bike for only $11.
DealDash.com, the fair and honest bidding site. We've sold an iPad worth $505 for less than $24. A stand mixer for less than $20. A 4K television for under $2. A MacBook Pro for under $16. As well as a PlayStation 4 for under $16. And brand new cars for less than $900. DealDash.com offers hundreds of auctions every day. All auctions start at $0 and everything must go. And don't forget, we offer a full 90-day money-back guarantee on your first bid pack purchase.
I won these Bluetooth headphones for $20.
I got these 3 suitcases for less than $40.
And shipping is always free.
Go to DealDash.com today and see how much you can save.
There are auctions going on right now. So what are you waiting for?
Shh. It's quiet. It's battery powered. It moves around via intelligent navigation. But this robot doesn't keep your carpet clean. It keeps your grass like a carpet 24/7. Husqvarna Auto Mower gives a lawn so perfect, you'll want it inside your house. Buy yourself some time to do other things. Buy the world leader in robotic mowing at your Husqvarna reseller today.
From inner space to cyberspace to outer space. If we can do all of this, just imagine what we're doing in our own backyard.
McCamish Pavilion, Atlanta, Georgia. Moments away from the start of the second half here on ACC College Hoops. In the first ever meeting, the Cardinals and the Yellow Jacket. It's all Cardinals in the first half. They've got the 31-15 lead, with the Yellow Jackets down by 16. And their leading scorer, DeVoe, with 5, Banks with 4, and Coleman the only player to get double digits with 10. Mallers made 3 3-pointers in that first half for Ball State. So, Brian, tell me what went on in that Georgia Tech locker room at halftime.
Well, I think the first thing Josh Pastner tells them is that they got to do a better job of taking care of the ball. I think that when they were running their offense, the court was too crowded. I think you got to spread it open. That's going to open opportunities for penetration. On the other end, you got to stay on the shooters, understanding that you can't let Mowers set his feet and then get to the bat and knock down the 3.
DeVoe, first possession, second half. Runs into the defense, and he was blocked by Teague. Largest comeback this season for Georgia Tech was 15 points. And that was at NC State, 82-81 in overtime. Gliding to the rim and scoring, Coleman.
They ran that play earlier where the wraparound, and you see Coleman being able to find the Georgia Tech player trailing him. Good dump off by Teague.
12 points now for Coleman. The Cardinals from Muncie, Indiana, running, and the layup is good. Teague, business end.
Ball State coming out with a tremendous amount of energy, being able to get turnovers, and it seemed like they have picked up where they left off. And again, you see the last time, a nice little wraparound called DeVoe trailing, dump off to Coleman. And then anytime you can get transition opportunities, you see Teague at the head of the crowd being able to finish.
Usher tried a 3. Teague trying to back his way down. Flips it out to Mallers and grazes the rim. Usher had just 2 points in his first game in a Georgia Tech uniform, and the shot by Banks is too strong.
I like the touch by Banks. He's got to finish that. I think that they put a lot of pressure on Teague on that one-on matchup if they can get touches to Banks.
See about Banks defensively. Top shot blocker in the ACC. Did not block that, but certainly altered the shot from Teague.
Well, and again, you know that you're playing against a guy, James Banks, that has tremendous length, and that allows him to put a lot of pressure that last time challenging the shot.
Parham in the corner. Usher was fouled. Mallers, second foul on Kyle Mallers.
So Jordan Usher going to the line right now. I think that, again, this was a guy that we highlighted at the beginning that with Georgia Tech having his scoring problems could be hopefully a shot in the arm. Hasn't quite found his rhythm yet, and that's expected because he's a guy that hasn't played in a year, and I think he's trying to find some kind of rhythm.
Transfer from Southern Cal, 48 games of experience for the Trojans, but he is from Canton, Georgia. Went to high school in Marietta.
And here's another thing that I'll tell you, Tom, as a player, that when you're struggling, the best thing for you is to see the ball go into the basket. And a lot of times, if I had an off night, I'd try to get to the free throw line.
Wait a minute. An off night?
I said if.
That never happened.
I said if.
What are you talking about? Although you're right, because Usher was able to get a couple of points from the free throw line. And now Moore has picked up the foul. But when you've had such a lack of success, anything to build some momentum, especially getting to the free throw line, is going to help.
Yeah, because again, this is a guy too who talk about he's 6'7", and has got a lot of energy. But Georgia Tech has got to get some stops. Ball State has done a really good job of being able to run their offense and stay disciplined in what they do.
Buffalo, 3. Moore trying to go end to end. That one bounces on the end line and out of bounds. And Georgia Tech loses possession.
And see, here's what I think with Khalid Moore, trying to do a little bit more than what they require of him. I think that with Josh Pastner gives them the freedom to be able to get to the basket. That last time you force it, bring it out. Run your offense, get an opportunity. Trying to hit their home run, you have to stay really disciplined to what you guys normally do on offense.
That's now 18 turnovers, the most that Ball State has forced against an opponent this season. And the Cardinals come in with a 5-4 record, 1-1 away from Muncie, Indiana. Buffalo, angular rebound into the corner and tracked down, but a traveling violation against Walton. Senior from Indianapolis.
Georgia Tech dodged a bullet that last play. You had Banks switching out on Bungalow, and then you had Parham down on Teague. Forced that switch.
DeVoe. Usher shakes his defender and comes up short on the attempt. Teague over Banks. You don't see that very often.
Well, again, you saw Teague being able to finish with a nice little runner with his left. And we talked with James Whitford. He talked about him being a stat sheet stuffer, a guy that can do defense, can score points. Right now, Ball State staying true to what they've been able to do all game long.
That pass went into the backcourt, but was deflected by Ball State. Now DeVoe with 10 on the shot clock. Spinning, drops it off. Usher hanging, but not scoring. And then reaches in and commits the personal foul. Trying to make a play. It's the 4th on Usher.
A lot of times you see Teague coming to finish. Nice little run. Ball State up by 20.
Without the letters A, B, and O, there's no mom. No dad. There's no Brittany. Because A's, B's, and O's determine your blood type. And we're missing all of them. That's why the American Red Cross needs people like you to help fill the gaps. Schedule your donation at redcrossblood.org.
Bring color to life with the very best paint, only at your Sherwin-Williams store.
I'm the man who cooks the food and feeds the street people in the afternoon. I'm the lady with the broom, sweeping the halls of your son's preschool. I'm the soldier who's up all night, making sure everything's all right.
Individually, we are 30 million Vanguard investors. Together, we're changing the way the world invests.
This holiday season, give the gift of Pacers basketball with the Pacers Holiday Plan. Get discounted tickets to 5 of the biggest games on the schedule, plus this Pacers Holiday Tumbler as a bonus. The Pacers Holiday Plan, presented by Fox Sports Indiana. Find out more at pacers.com/holiday.
It's a 14-2 run for the Cardinals. Late first half, early second half, where they built a 20-point lead, 15:58 on the clock. Now, both of these teams will get on a plane tomorrow and go to Hawaii. They're part of the Diamond Head Classic, and here is the entire field.
Steps out to me is that Houston team and Washington. And Washington Huskies have a really good team. And again, always like that. Playing in that Christmas tournament, get a chance to get to Hawaii. But then right now, it's going to be a long flight for Georgia Tech tomorrow if they can't turn this thing around. And you see the shooting woes, 19%, 5 for 26 shooting.
And those 18 turnovers by the Jackets. Brian, you played in one of those tournaments in Hawaii back in the day. Always a fun trip with your teammates, regroup. To get some wins out there for the Jackets, see if they can mount a monumental comeback here against Ball State. Traveling violation. Both of these coaches have been there, but only in working capacities. And Coach Whitford is going to stick around for a few more days and enjoy the islands. And Coach Pastor said he's been as a player, as an assistant coach, as a head coach. So this will be his 4th trip to Hawaii. So that tournament on the Hawaii campus. Scooped up and under DeVoe.
Nice move by Michael DeVoe, and hopefully that'll get him going. Again, talk about how crafty he is. And you see, being able to get in and throw it up with his left hand. That's a pretty nifty move there, Tom Worming. Being able to go for the and one, and maybe this will get him going. Can't hit the home run. Still 15 minutes left to go in this ball game for Georgia Tech. You got to get stops and find ways to get points in transition because they have struggled all night long in the half-court offense.
Walton working inside. Asante Price, number 23 for Georgia Tech, has picked up the personal.
We talked with Ball State coach James Whitford before the game. He told us about how much he liked his team because he thought that he had a group of guys that were highly skilled, understood how to play the game, and definitely on display right now and just on how they've been playing and executing on both ends of the floor.
Just their 4th free throw of the night. KJ Walton had missed the last 4 games with an ankle injury. Surprise entry into this game, and he's contributed some positive minutes for Ball State. You have to say all the players have contributed positively. Look at the scoreboard. Off the backboard and good. That's Phillips for Georgia Tech. You'll take it any way you can get it.
Any way you can get it, call it a bank or not. Georgia Tech extending their pressure, trying to make it life a little bit more difficult for Ball State.
Just the second 3 of the game for Georgia Tech. Explosive move to the basket. K.J. Walton, and the ankle looks pretty good right there. And he's got 3, his first field goal.
Walton comes in, highly skilled, athletic guy. It's a guy that has a 43-inch vertical, Tom Wormy. You see yet another turnover by Georgia Tech.
Backcourt violation and the touch up there by Moses Wright. 19 turnovers.
You see the expression from some of the Georgia Tech players. It seemed like they still haven't had a chance to actually wake up to the game in a sense, because I thought that Ball State came from the beginning and they were aggressive. They had a game plan. And Georgia Tech, again, this game is far from over, but you have to be able to get some stops and you have to execute on the other end. Turnovers are definitely killing.
Ball State hadn't played in 10 days, so relatively fresh legs. Right now out in front, despite the turnover on the last possession for the Cardinals. Inside, Parham is wide open.
Nice back cut by Parham. Recognition by Ashanti Price. Georgia Tech, again, take your time. You got to get out on the shooters.
That's a wide miss from the wing by Hazen.
You see Bubba Parham being able to get in. You see a back cut by Parham. That's what you need. Walton fell asleep right there. You need some easy baskets. Again, Georgia Tech has struggled. Nice move by Walton. How about Walton, since he's come in, giving them a shot in the arm offensively?
Banks picks up the foul for Georgia Tech. It's his first. 13:37 on the game clock. Georgia Tech led early, 8-7. Ball State went on a 24-7 run in the first half. Led it 31-15. Ball State scored 102 points in that most recent game 10 days ago. Made 15 threes in that one and shot 55% in the win against IUPUI. It is off of the Cardinals. You know, when we spoke with Coach Pastor, he was pleased with the effort against Kentucky. He said a couple of things go different directions, and we got a chance to win that game, even though the score might be a little deceptive as they lost to Kentucky 67-53.
And he said he thought that they had a lot of open opportunities that they missed, and thought that, you know, that was a game that they thought they could definitely win. And I asked him, I said, well, did you share that with your team? And he said, absolutely. And again, when you look at today, it just seems like Georgia Tech having a hard time as you see the finish. The refs waving it off. It just seems that Georgia Tech has not found their rhythm offensively, and a lot of that may have had something to do with Ball State. And you see his last play. You see Michael DeVoe going up and coming up short. Obviously a shot clock violation.
So Ron Groover is over at the scorer's table, and now Jeff Pond joins him. And it was Banks who had the follow. DeVoe's shot had been deflected. One of the problems in that Kentucky game is that Georgia Tech made just 1 3-pointer in the second half, and they were 5 of 18 as a team from beyond the arc in that game.
You see, I guess checking to see if that ball was deflected. You see that last play. It seems like it was deflected on the shot.
Josh Thompson was the defender. DeVoe, the steal, and the drive.
Great opportunity for Georgia Tech to crawl back into this. No pressure. Timeout, Ball State. James Woodford want to reorganize his troops.
DeVoe now with 9 points. The steal and the drive to the rim from Michael DeVoe and the Jackets.
Did you know Comcast Business goes beyond fast with a gig speed network, complete internet reliability, advanced voice solutions, Wi-Fi to keep everyone connected, video monitor. That's huge. Did you guys know we did all this stuff? No. I'm not even done yet. Wow. Business TV, cloud apps, and support.
Comcast Business goes beyond other providers. Start with fast, reliable internet for just $49.95 a month.
It's everything a small business owner needs.
Comcast Business, beyond fast.
At Chevy, we're all about bringing families together.
This time of year, that's really important.
That's why our Chevy employee discount is now available to everyone.
The Chevy price you pay is what we pay.
Not a cent more. Family is important to us.
So happy holidays.
And welcome to the family.
The Chevy family.
Use your Chevy employee discount for everyone to get a total value of over $11,800 on this Silverado All-Star.
Visit ChooseYourChevy.com.
Prescription eyewear can be really expensive. But here's a secret. Glasses don't actually cost that much to make. Surprise! Especially when you design your own eyewear and then sell it directly to your customers. Like we do. Oh, hi. We're Warby Parker. Our glasses start at $95, including prescription lenses. And the best part? You can try 5 pairs for free at warbyparker.com.
Said I am a lion, but you never heard me roar.
Individually, we are 30 million Vanguard investors. Together, we're changing the way the world invests.
Now only at Domino's for $7.99 each, you can carry out all 5 crust options with any 3 toppings. Sometimes large foldable Brooklyn-style crust is a perfect fit. Or carry out any of our 5 crusts for just $7.99 every day, only at Domino's.
You're watching Fox Sports Midwest.
Some holiday cheer inside the building tonight. McCamish Pavilion. Tom Wormy, Brian Oliver, the Georgia Tech legend, and our outstanding ACC basketball production crew. Michael DeVoe up to 9 points now, leading the way for Georgia Tech. Does have one of their 2 made 3-pointers in this game, chipped in with 3 boards as well. And he's part of our tweet of the week. It's brought to you by Toyota. Blessed to see 20 G-Day. Birthday yesterday for Michael DeVoe. 20 years old, born December 17th, 1999. If you didn't feel old before that, Brian Oliver.
I was just thinking about that. I was like, wow.
Wait a minute. I've been out of college for several years at that point. See if Georgia Tech can mount a comeback. A near steal. Moore throws it up ahead. Banks trying to fill the lane with a wild shot, and foul goes against Hazen. That's his 3rd. It was Price who first disrupted the play at one end of the floor. They tried to convert it the other.
Well, you said maybe a little bit of a bailout for James Banks, because I think when he got that ball, didn't have his footing.
And before the next free throw, a quick word from Works.
The Works Switch Driver. With 2 rotating chucks, you can switch between bits in a second and get projects done twice as fast.
Makes a wonderful holiday gift, the Switch Driver.
Are you dropping hints?
Maybe.
Okay. I'll be your secret Santa.
Let's see what's under the tree on December 25th. Both of these teams will be in Hawaii. They're both going to Hawaii tomorrow to be part of the Diamond Head Classic, an 8-team field. Mike Stamus, the sports information director here at Georgia Tech, told me there's a high surf advisory in Hawaii right now. So in Honolulu, there's a high scoring advisory in the building tonight for Ball State.
Well, and before that turnover there, I thought Georgia Tech was picking up their intensity on defense and creating a lot more opportunities for themselves. Limiting the Ball State, and now they have to find ways to score.
DeVoe was bothered by 2 defenders. Parham the reset. And now DeVoe might have been deflected out of the corner. Teague was right on him.
How about the intensity from Ball State, though? They have come out and they've realized that, hey, we're going to play tough, and they have not made it easy for Georgia Tech, even doing this little small run.
It's a wild shot, gobbled up by Banks on the rebound. Tried to get it to Banks, and a foul is called. Looked like Coleman might have been reaching in. So it will be on Coleman. 41-27 Cards.
How much faster could one chuck work if one chuck had two chucks?
The award-winning switch driver does more faster. Quick releasing chucks save you time, while torque control gives you clean, beautiful holes without stripping your screws.
If you live somewhere and own things, this versatile workhorse is the perfect tool for you.
And no cords needed. Because every switch driver comes with two 20-volt batteries that you can use with all your Works Power Share tools. Get yours today at switchdriver.com.
Listen, you're my friend.
I noticed you haven't really been yourself recently.
Yeah, I feel like something's up.
How are you?
Are you okay?
Is there anything you want to talk about?
I just want to know how you're feeling.
And listen, even if you don't know what to say, I'm here to talk.
No matter what you're going through,
I just want you to know I'm here.
I've got your back. When you want to talk, I'm here.
You're watching Fox Sports Midwest. ACC College Hoops is brought to you by the Works Switch Driver 2-in-1 Drill and Driver and Cadillac.
The Georgia capital of Atlanta, Georgia. Established as the city in 1847. And Georgia Tech playing its 105th year of college basketball on this campus, but trailing Ball State. It is the first ever meeting between the teams. Ball State and Coach James Whitford, impressive so far this evening. And both of these teams on their way to Hawaii for the Diamond Head Classic. In fact, Boise State will be the first opponent for Georgia Tech, and that'll be the first time that those two programs have played one another as well. And there is a chance that these two teams could play on the third day, which would be Christmas, December 25th, of that tournament. Banks.
And that's what I would like to see more from James Banks and Georgia Tech. They clearly have an advantage there. And I think that if they can get the ball inside to Banks, allow him to still establish inside, the three-point shots will come.
Banks has 7, trying to defend at the other end, and he can't do it as Coleman got by him.
Nice finish by Coleman. Again, if you want to go at a shot block, you got to make sure that you initiate that contact. Chance of being able to keep the ball away from him.
14 points now for Coleman. Cardinals basketball. The lead was 16 at halftime. 14 right now. Double team. Held ball situation. And the arrow favors the Cardinals. Coach Whitford.
If you're A-Cream, whenever you see that double team, you want to get the ball out of your hands. Again, plays in Georgia Tech's favor if they can keep you in that second part of the court.
Both Coach Whitford and Coach Pastor, former assistants at Arizona. Josh Pastor, the head coach at Memphis, and an assistant at Xavier as well. Step back three is all net, ripping ropes. Teron Coleman.
Well, you could tell when Coleman called for the ball that he was feeling it. He realized that he had a big and Banks on him, and he saw he danced with the ball, created enough of a separation to knock down that three. Not playing like a freshman.
17 points in the game. Usher tried to come over the top for the offensive rebound.
You see this, you see a little bit of sizing up, realize it got a little separation, and nothing but money. It's a lot of times when you see a big on you, you say, hey, I want to make sure I can get enough of separation. Coleman, again, has been able to do it. Has been very efficient all night.
So Coleman right now has 37 points in his last 2 games, including tonight against Georgia Tech. DeVoe trying to knife his way to the rim. Might have got in there a little too deep under that basket.
Yeah, the looks have not been as clean for Georgia Tech as for Ball State.
A clean look and a 3. Teague.
Ball State putting on a clinic. So Georgia Tech being able to get back into it. 2 quick threes. Open this lead back up. You see the penetration, drawing, and then out. Teague knocking down the 3. Good basketball execution in the ball out. Ball State being able to get what they want offensively. Off into an 8-0 run.
Just the 4th made 3 of the season for Teague, and you know it's going well when Teague can step back and hit it right after Coleman had done the very same thing on the previous possession.
Tech substitution, Moses Wright.
The lead is back up to 20. 8 made 3s in the game for Ball State. The 20-point difference matches the largest lead of the evening for the Cardinals. Parham gets 2 back.
Nice shot, Georgia Tech being able to run a little pick and roll. Again, it seemed that whenever they tried to get into that lead, Ball State's able to either answer that with a 3 or an easy basket.
4 points for Parham. Walton, how about that passing?
Great execution, and again, that was set up by Coleman. Penetration, being able to dump it off. Not settling for the 3. Ball State all evening have been able to do a good job of sharing the basket and use their spacing.
Straight away for 3, and a miss from Price. Eight and a half minutes to go in the second half. 51-31 Cardinals. Walton tried to drive it out of that corner, lost the handle, got it back, got right in the air. A lot of work by Walton, nothing to show for it. Three-pointer rattles out from the corner. DeVoe down in that corner in front of his own bench. Georgia Tech needs something special and in a hurry against the Ball State Cardinals.
Medical alert. The popular heartburn medication Zantac has been linked to numerous cases of cancer. The U.S. Food and Drug Administration has issued an advisory warning the public of the cancer risks associated with Zantac. If you or a loved one used Zantac and then developed any of the listed types of cancer, you may be entitled to financial compensation. You have the right to take action. Call us today, toll-free, at 800-230-9444 for a free consultation. 800-230-9444. Non-attorney spokesperson.
This is cellulose acetate, a plant-based material that's not only extremely durable, but also quite flexible, making it ideal for Warby Parker glasses, which, by the way, start at $95, including prescription lenses. Try 5 pairs for free at warbyparker.com. Oh yeah, about those prescription lenses. Warby Parker glasses come standard with custom-cut polycarbonate lenses that have been treated with scratch-resistant and anti-reflective coatings. Nice. Try 5 pairs for free at warbyparker.com.
It's quiet. It's battery-powered. It moves around via intelligent navigation. But this robot doesn't keep your carpet clean. It keeps your grass like a carpet 24/7. Husqvarna Auto Mower gives a lawn so perfect, you'll want it inside your house. Buy yourself some time to do other things. Buy the world leader in robotic mowing at your Husqvarna reseller today.
Get up and get it when the sun comes up. Don't lay there dozing like a lazy pup. Health and wealth will overflow your cup if you get up early in the morning.
Cardinals are on a 10-2 run last 3 minutes, and 5 of those points coming from Jerron Coleman.
And we've seen him all night be able to break down the Georgia Tech defense and get into the basket. And when he wasn't doing that, he was setting up opportunities for his teammates. Again, he's been able to do it inside, outside. Super aggressive, being able to finish around the basket, and he has been dominant. When he's not doing that, he's being able to dance to be able to knock down the three. He has definitely been super aggressive, Tom Wormy. And again, he's the guy that I think that was able to slow down that Georgia Tech comeback and be able to expand. As you see, 7 of 8, 17 points, a very efficient night.
Hasn't missed from 3, and he's our Toyota Let's Go places. These teams are going to go to Hawaii. Before they get there, Ball State may have a win against the ACC under its belt. First basket for Thompson for Ball State. We knew that the Cardinals were a good team, Brian. Did we know that they would come in and have this kind of performance against Georgia Tech?
Well, earlier when we talked with James Whitfield, he talked about that, the fact that his team is so skilled. He thought that there were some games that they lost that they should have won. And again, anytime you've got a team, Tom, that can shoot it from behind the arc the way they do and have really good playmakers and understand the game, this is a team that plays really hard and has definitely been on display all night.
46% from beyond the arc of the game for Ball State. They came into the game 3rd best in the Mid-American Conference in three-point shooting. Banks trying to keep it alive. Could not do so.
And here's one of the things we haven't talked about is that I think that Ball State's been the scrappier team tonight. And they've gotten the 50-50 balls. They have limited Georgia Tech, and they have flustered Georgia Tech again. We talked about the turnovers earlier that I think shot Georgia Tech in the foot.
Again, the Jackets playing without their star point guard, Jose Alvarado, out with an ankle injury. He's missed the last 6 games. A rare miss from the Cardinals, and especially from that guy, Coleman.
Well, he's been superb all night. And again, going back to Jose Alvarado, that definitely throws a big kink into what Georgia Tech has not been able to do. But again, not making any excuses for them. It's been Ball State all night.
That one to Ball State with 6.5 minutes to go in the second half. Elamine has come back in. He's number 5. Jackets have missed their last 5 shot attempts. December 22nd, we'll take on Boise State, the Diamond Head Classic. Ball State will also be there, and so will Bumbo, number 2 for 3.
And you've seen Bumbo all night struggle, but again, not giving up. And he's a guy that finally hit that 3. And again, you know, with he and Coleman, they're 2 freshmen, and James Whitfield said that he didn't want to have to play both of them a lot, but the injury to Walton has forced them. But again, those 2 guys not playing like freshmen tonight.
9 points on the evening from Michael DeVoe. Right now, that's not going to be nearly enough. That 3 by Bumbelow, his first points of the night. Nobody shoots more threes for Ball State than Bumbelow. Shot clock's at 5. Banks muscles his way. Second effort from Banks.
Good job by James Banks not giving up on the opportunity. Still crashing.
That's 9 points for Banks. He averages about 10.5 per game. And he is one of the top rebounders in the ACC, almost 8 boards per game for Banks. Hazen for 3, little ball fake, and then the shot.
Well, we've seen it with Ball State. The penetration forced Georgia Tech to collapse. They've got their bigs out behind the three-point line, and that's something they've been able to execute to perfection all evening.
8 points for Hazen after that three-pointer. A lot of the threes that Ball State has made haven't even touched the rim, Brian.
Well, you see, I mean, the penetration, he draws 2 Georgia Tech defenders, gets it out to Hazen, knocking it down, and that's something that Ball State was trying to expose, being able to have the bigs who are reluctant to come out and guard. And you see right now, Georgia Tech down by 26 into the bonus.
Now, Lamine to the bench. Hazen picked up the last foul. He's got 4. He'll leave Moore missing from the free throw line. Last win for Ball State against an ACC team came back in 2017 at Notre Dame. Poked away. Speedy Josh Thompson. Unselfish. Well defended by Georgia Tech to get back in Banks. DeVoe, a defender on each hip. He got tied up, but a foul is coming up on the Cardinals. Second on Bumbelow.
Bumbelow is a gritty player. You see that, obviously, he has shot a lot of threes today, but again, that whole group, especially with the guards, very aggressive. Doing a good job of being able to limit the Georgia Tech penetration.
DeVoe's at the line as Wright and Usher will join him on the floor. Double digits for Michael DeVoe. One more free throw upcoming for the sophomore from Orlando, Florida, out of Montverde Academy in Florida. Phillips into the lineup. 5 times this season, DeVoe has gone for 20 points or more, but he's got a ways to go to get to that figure tonight. 11 points after the 2 free throws from Michael DeVoe. Not much of a birthday celebration for Michael DeVoe the day after his 20th birthday. That's all right. Plenty of basketball to go this season, Brian. The big slam comes from Bracken Hazen.
You saw how Ball State ran that offense. East to west, penetration. Forced Georgia Tech to collapse. Wide open, run to the rim.
Hazen's got 10 points now after the big-time jam. Front rim for Wright and Mallers. And he'll slow it up. Ball State built a 16-point halftime lead. They have not looked back. Mallers able to recover. Shot clock at 3. Foul with 2 seconds left on the shot clock. Wright picks it up his first.
Ball State has been able to execute inside, outside, sharing the ball and finish it up. Hazen run to the rim. It's been Ball State all night. Show the excitement by Elamine.
Hello, I'm Mike Lindell, inventor of MyPillow. Just like you, I had problems sleeping. I tried every pillow out there and nothing worked. 15 years ago, I invented MyPillow. It took me 2 years to develop because I wanted to have everything you would ever want in a pillow. I made sure that you could adjust my patented fill so you could have the exact support you need as an individual regardless of your sleep position. I also wanted a pillow that would last, so I made MyPillow machine washable and dryable. I back my pillow with a 10-year warranty and a 60-day money-back guarantee. Not only that, I do all my own manufacturing in my home state of Minnesota.
I really like the fact that it was made in the USA. I think that USA products are a better quality product. I've tried a lot of other pillows, and nothing's worked like my pillow.
I'm interrupting this commercial right now to give you deep discounts, not just on my pillows, but also my mattress toppers, sheets, and so much more. For example, you can get body pillows regularly $89.99, now only $29.99, or my pillow dog beds for as low as $19.99 with your promo code.
I used to think that sheets were just sheets. I got the Giza Dream sheets. They are the most comfortable sheets I've ever had.
The Go Anywhere pillow is so easy to just roll up and take anywhere I want to go.
Go Anywhere pillow is really comfortable, so that's what I really like. It's nice and supportive, and it's nice and small.
The My Pillow topper, for the first time, has enabled me to have a cool night's sleep. I'm able to go to bed and just get rest.
That's 3 inches of wonderful that's in the My Pillow mattress topper. It's just like a firm cloud.
My Pillow helps me get a good night's sleep so I can do my job in the morning.
Go to MyPillow.com to get deep discounts, not just on my pillows, but so much more. For example, you get body pillows regularly $89.99, now only $29.99, or My Pillow dog beds for as low as $19.99 with your promo code.
For the best night's sleep in the whole wide world, visit MyPillow.com.
So with 3:19 to go in the second half, it's the Cardinals out in front of the Yellow Jackets. Both teams are on their way to Hawaii for the Diamond Head Classic. They'll both leave tomorrow. In fact, they're on the same plane. And it'll be Ball State that, in all likelihood, will have this first ever meeting between these two programs. Now, Josh Pastner has certain metrics, Brian, that he wants his team to hit throughout the season. This is the theme.
And so if you see that metric, they fell short on a lot of those. And one of the things I think that started out, turnovers early. I thought that they didn't have the discipline that they needed offensively. And then they did not limit Ball State. And Georgia Tech is normally one of the better defensive teams in the ACC.
They've got the rest of the season to shoot for those benchmarks, though, as they get to Hawaii and then into ACC play. And you just mentioned turnovers, Brian. That's turnover number 24 for Georgia Tech tonight.
Well, and they've had 20-plus turnovers in other games as well. And again, not to make excuses for them. Obviously, it shows that they're missing their floor general and Jose Alvarado. But then again, you got to give a lot of credit to Ball State and what they've been able to execute. They came out and they made it hard for Georgia Tech on one end. As you see, got another basket by Mahlers. And they were never, ever able to get some kind of rhythm. A nice lob from Phillips to Cole.
First basket for Cole tonight. Ball State made 10 three-pointers this evening. That's what they do. Much improved from a season ago where they only averaged about 6 made threes per game. So massive substitutions for the Cardinals with just 2:04 to go. And what a performance, especially that guy, number 11, Coleman. Coleman led the way with 17 points, led all scorers tonight.
And we came in highlighting El-Amin. But if you remember the pre-game talk that we had with James Whitford, it was Coleman that he was singing the praises, and he was saying that, hey, this is probably going to be my best player. And he definitely had that on display. You see frustration by Evan Cole. You see both of them going for the ball, and Cole with the push. Surprised that they're not considering that a flagrant.
Trying to get by Josh Thompson, and the officials will, in fact, Brian, come over and take a look at the monitor and take a look at that last play that involved Evan Cole for Georgia Tech and Josh Thompson for Ball State.
And you see the play. Both players going for the ball. And they are going to call that a flagrant one.
Ron Groover told us unnecessary play by Evan Cole, resulting in the flagrant one. Goes on your personal foul ledger. That'll be 2 shots for Thompson and possession of the ball for the Cardinals. Ron Groover, quick chat with Evan Cole. So Ball State is going to go to 6-4 on the season. Remember, we told you they hadn't played in 10 days. They looked fresh. They looked ready. Their 5 games prior to tonight had all been home games, and they were 2-3 in those games. But tonight, they look like a team that can win the Mid-American Conference.
Yeah, and you look at what they do. They've got guys that are athletic. Anytime you've got a team that averages 28 3-point shot attempts and you make 10 of them, you're giving yourself a shot. They've got skilled ball players, and again, they've got a freshman in Coleman that does not play like a freshman. And this is a team that's deep, and they play their gritty ball club.
Especially the last 2 games for Coleman. 37 points combined in those last 2 games for Jerron Coleman, the redshirt freshman from Indianapolis, Indiana. Coleman made his 4th start of the season tonight and made the most of it, as did most of the Ball State players. We got our first look at Usher tonight for Georgia Tech as well. You'd imagine he would progressively get into the flow of offense and defense, for that matter, for the Yellow Jackets.
And it's going to take time. Again, you know, when you're able to play, you see James Banks with a jump hook. When you get a chance to go and practice every day, totally different is when you get game time. And so I still think that he's going to get some games under his belt. And if you're Josh Pastner, you know, we talk about being able to get blocked by James Banks. When they get Alvarado back, then you get your rhythm. You want to be clicking. Again, you want to win all of your games. This is going to be a disheartening loss for them, as you see the block by James Banks, and that's what he does.
Jackets will be away from McCamish Pavilion for an extended period of time. Their next home game is January 8th against number 4 Duke, and that's a team they've lost 12 in a row to. Banks on the feed from Parham, and he'll rock the stanchion. 13 points for Banks.
And so here's what I'll tell you too, is that I have been on the end of games like this, and when you have a lot of time, there's a lot of film, there's a lot of teaching, and again, there will be some time for relaxation in Hawaii, but knowing Josh Pastner, he will make sure that he gets his guys right, because again, the nice jump shot by Kamari Phillips, but you go back and you say, hey, what are the teaching moments? How do we get past this? How do we get better?
So Banks, who had the big-time dunk at the offensive end for Georgia Tech, has 13 points. He is the leading scorer in the game. DeVoe has 11. Banks also has 9 rebounds to go along with his point production tonight. Jose Alvarado had an inspirational chat with Brian Oliver prior to the game, and some sage old wisdom from the Georgia Tech legend.
Shout out to my guy,
to
Jose.
Mr. Alvarado.
And again, Jose politicking, saying that he's determined that he's coming back probably sooner than later. And I guess, and if you're Georgia Tech, you want to make sure that that injury is fully healed, because they've got a gauntlet of a schedule coming up. Big game by Ball State.
Georgia Tech did finish on a 12-0 run, but it's 65-47 in the win for Ball State. Georgia Tech's home record goes to 3-3. Their overall record is now 4-5. Ball State wins the first ever meeting between the Cardinals and the Jackets, and for these 2 teams, it's on to Honolulu, Hawaii, and the Diamond Head Classic. Once again, your final score tonight, 65-47 Cardinals. For the Georgia Tech legend, Brian Oliver, and our outstanding production crew, I'm Tom Wormy. So long from McCamish.